Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Vacationing in the Adirondacks. My name is Katie Artessa, and I'm the Regional Director of Public and Government Affairs, and I'm in Utica, New York. From hiking to fishing, canoeing to camping, we find all of that the Adirondack Mountain has to offer. Now, I never realized this. Many have drawn inspiration from the forest, canopy of the Adirondacks, writing of its enchanted mountains, peaks, and igniting passion to explore the depth of nature. Larger than Yosemite, Yellowstone, and the Grand Canyon combined. The Adirondacks are natural splendor that promises adventure. Join four of our wonderful experts to hear about how the Adirondacks can support the travel industry by vacationing close to home this year, with a focus on ensuring the safety of all travelers and businesses. Okay. Our panelists today are Joanne Conley, who's the Tourism Director with Warren County, Michelle Clemens, Director of Marketing, Regional Office of Sustainable Tourism, Michael Beck, President and CEO of the Adirondack Regional Chamber of Commerce, and of course, Mike Farmer, who's the Publicity Director of Old Forge. Okay, we're going to start out first with Joanne Conley. Joanne, again, is the Tourism Director in Warren County, the Lake George area, New York Adirondacks. Joanne has lived and worked in Warren County all of her life. She earned her BS in Travel and Tourism from Niagara University, and she is currently the President of the Adirondack Region Tourism Council. She's an outdoors woman. Joanne enjoys cycling, running, paddling, and hiking in the Adirondacks, and is an Adirondack 46er. So go ahead, Joanne. We're excited to see your presentation.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. I would like to thank AAA Northeast for inviting me to this forum today. The Lake George area has advertised with AAA for a number of years, and we do recognize the importance of our AAA members. They can hop in the car at a moment's notice if the weather looks good, or they can plan to visit us for a longer vacation. We, in the Lake George area, we're in the southeast corner of the Adirondack Park, and we're an easy to reach destination. We're about a 3.5-hour drive from New York City, Boston, or central New York, and we're right off Interstate 87. So we are a late summer or fall close to home vacation destination. I think that is actually my last slide. So if we can go back to the first one, there we go. Okay, there we go. So the next slide, I will begin with some of the attractions that do happen to be open this summer in Lake George. We are fortunate that many of our iconic attractions were able to open this summer to safely and responsibly welcome guests. All of our businesses have gone to great lengths to educate their staff and maintain a safe and clean property so that guests will feel safe when they come to visit this summer. The steamboats, for example, are our iconic cruises on the lake. You can cruise for an hour or you can cruise all day. You can be out on the top deck sunning yourself in the beautiful afternoon sunshine, or you can be indoors in air-conditioned comfort, and lunch and dinner and brunch are served. The Fort William Henry down at the south end of the lake will allow you to experience the sights and sounds of the French and Indian War. Families might enjoy miniature golf. And factory outlet shopping is always incredibly popular, and that could be a rainy day, or that could be on a really warm day when you want to shop in air-conditioned comfort. Factory outlet stores range from LL Bean to Under Armour to Coach and J. Crew, so there's something for everyone. The only attraction that is not open this summer here is Six Flags Great Escape. And although they do have things, safety protocols in place to open, if they get the go-ahead from the state, they are currently not open. So we're hoping for perhaps September and into Fright Fest in October, which has always been popular. Next slide. Outdoor recreation is what the Adirondacks are all about. So Lake George, first and foremost, is our magnificent lake. It's 32 miles long, sparkling water surrounded by mountains, and we all absolutely love Lake George, and that is the anchor of our destination. There are public beaches in many of the towns along the lake that welcome visitors. The lake is known for excellent fishing, landlocked salmon, bass, trout, and panfish are always easy to catch. Lots of camping opportunities. There's even island camping. There are hundreds of island campsites. If you want to rent an island, you could be with a whole bunch of people on a larger island, or you can have an island all to yourself. So that's a pretty unique thing that we have to offer. Smaller lakes and ponds are great for paddling, kayaking, and canoeing, which has been incredibly popular this summer. Everyone seems to want to be outdoors, and the demand for boating and boat rentals has just skyrocketed. So we would love to have you come and boat on our waters. Bring your own kayak or canoe with you, and if you choose to rent a boat, then call ahead of time so you can be sure you can get out there on the water. RV camping has also been incredibly popular this summer, so folks are renting RVs to come and visit. Also have many hiking trails and a couple of challenges in the area. The Chester Challenge is up in the Chestertown Pottersville area, and the Lake George 12 Challenge are 12 peaks around Lake George that you can enjoy that offer varying degrees of difficulty. So if you're looking for the great outdoors, then you can come and visit us in the Lake George area. Next slide. So beyond Lake George, so of course that's our anchor attraction, but if you've been here before, we would love to have you visit some of our smaller communities and villages. The south end of the lake is always very popular, but if you drive along the lake on Lake Shore Drive, you'll come through the town of Bolton Landing up to Silver Bay and Hague, and it's just a little bit quieter up at that end of the lake. The lake is narrower, boating is a little bit quieter. It's just a slower pace as you drive north. If you go over to the North Creek area, the photo there is the Gore Gondola. Gore Mountain is open this summer. The gondola is open if you'd like to take a scenic gondola ride to the top. Whitewater rafting is also taking place up in the Gore area on the Hudson River. And there's also some incredible mountain bike trails if you want to get out there on mountain bikes with your family. Downtown Glens Falls is our quaint and walkable hometown city, the only city that we have right here in Lake George, and it's just a few miles south of Lake George. So if you're looking for finer dining or a quaint little downtown to walk around, coffee shops, a huge farmer's market on Saturday morning, some boutique shopping, I would highly recommend the city of Glens Falls. Our Tri-Lakes area is Brant Lake, Loon Lake, and Friends Lake. In those communities, you'll find safe paddling and boating lakes, more scenic hiking trails, some backcountry cycling, and just some small town Adirondack friendly welcome. So much more to explore when you come to Warren County. So please spend a day exploring the smaller towns. Next slide, thank you. So why would you want to come to Lake George this summer? We have gone to great lengths to make our businesses safe for our customers. Early in the early stages of the pandemic, our local government and our businesses partnered to come up with a really stringent set of safety protocols that would ensure that our guests and our employees and our local residents are all safe. And hundreds of our businesses have taken a health and safety pledge. If you want to click to the next slide, if you happen to be in the area and you see this safety pledge decal in any of the windows, you will know that those businesses have gone to great lengths. There's a list of specific things that each different business sector will have to adhere to in order to obtain that safety pledge decal. So they can show that in their window or their website or their social media. And it's just a visual sign to our guests that our businesses have gone above and beyond to make sure that this is a safe and welcoming destination for them this summer. Next, please. Early in the pandemic, everyone wanted to be outdoors, so all of our trails were being used, which is great. But just a reminder, we put up some lawn signs on our trails just to let people know that they needed to be responsible. You know, we did our part in educating our businesses and our employees, but we're also asking our guests to do the same thing and to be responsible on the trail. So we placed some of these signs at our trailheads. Next, please. Next slide, please. And in addition to that, just safety signs around the entire county. So the signs that you see here were posters. Our businesses can download them, and you may see them in some of the business windows. And we also have them made into lawn signs that are displayed around the county. So if you are out and about and you see these signs, and I see them all the time when I'm driving around, you will know that we as a destination are committed to welcoming you to a safe and responsible vacation destination. And I think we've done a pretty good job of that. We've been having a fairly good summer, and we think that our guests are truly enjoying themselves. If you have not been to the Lake George area yet this summer, we welcome you. There's still time this summer and still time into the fall. I would like to close with a short video that we are showing on television and on some of our digital channels, and it'll just give you a little snapshot of things that you can see and do this summer and into the fall. I will note that Great Escape is in this commercial, and as I mentioned earlier, they are not open yet, but hopefully we can welcome them this fall. So we welcome you to Lake George and Warren County and look forward to seeing you sometime this year. So if we can go ahead and watch that video, that would be great. Thank you.
Oop.
Look! 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 Look!
Look.
For an amazing vacation, look to the Lake George area. Look!
Joanne. I have to say, Lake George is one of my favorite places. Every summer we do take our grandchildren there so that they can visit Six Flags Great Escape. We also hit Saratoga every year and then go up to Lake George and spend the weekend. I've skied many times at Gore Mountain and I love that resort. So much to offer. Also, my girlfriends and I usually take a trip every fall to go to the outlets and do our fall shopping. So thank you very much. It was very interesting and very exciting. I can't wait for our trip coming up in August. Thank you.
Good. We will look forward to seeing you.
Okay. Next is Michael Biddle. And Michael is the Adirondack Regional Chamber of Commerce President and CEO and an employee of the USDA New York State Farm Service Agency Committee. He currently serves on the Warren Washington County Industrial Development Agency Board, the Saratoga, Warren, and Washington Counties Workforce Development Board, and the Glen Falls BID Board, and is treasurer of that board. He has a Bachelor of Arts degree in Business and Government from Skidmore College. And Michael resides in Greenwich with his wife, Wendy, and his two sons, Christian and Reagan. Welcome, Michael. We're excited to hear what you are going to offer us, and we'll all get excited to go and visit. Oh, you're muted.
How's that?
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Being a farm boy, I'm the least technologically savvy of the group. So Joanne, you killed it as always. We partner all the time with Joanne in Warren County. I'm actually calling you from Warren County, but I am a Washington County boy through and through, from our little farm to the beauty of Washington County. And we don't compete with Warren County. We complement Warren County. So there's so much to do right across the river from Warren County right into Washington County, all within easy driving distance and plenty to do. So I thought I'd dive in and give some highlights. First and foremost, before I start, it's been a pleasure working with Joanne and also the Lake George Regional Chamber, the Lake George Regional Chamber and CVB on all the health and safety programs that's going on. And as Joanne had mentioned, it was a great collaboration between businesses and government, but I would certainly submit that Joanne and the Lake George Chamber and CVB and the Adirondack Chamber worked really well through this to make sure that our region has stayed safe. And our region continues to stay safe through a heavy tourist season. We continue to have very, very low numbers when it comes to what's going on out there regarding COVID, and really high numbers regarding tourism. So it's been a blessing on every single front. It's been exciting to see our businesses be passionate and be very forthright and secure in the safety of our region. So that pours right across the river to Washington County, and I'm going to take off on that. We've got beautiful RV camping and regular tent camping at the Moose Hillock Camping Resort right in Fort Ann. That literally is right down the road from Warren County, and the outlet malls, Tricia, that you're going to. So I highly suggest that you camp at Moose Hillock Camping Resort. And we also have some county camping sites at Lake Lauderdale and some other county sites around Washington County. Washington County is 55 miles long from top to bottom, filled with beauty of rolling hills, farms. Think of Vermont, except better. So it is so gorgeous in Washington County as well. So great opportunities. The wonderful, beautiful hotels like the Sagamore, the Fort William Henry, many that Joanne referenced in Warren County, are so beautiful and great place to stay. Washington County offers an alternative with campsites and RV camping. Next slide, please. And this is a Washington County hotel right here. So this is a yurt village right in Granville. It's a great opportunity. You're about 15 minutes from Vermont here, and then you're about a half an hour east of Warren County. Really interesting. It's a 117-acre campground, open fields, ponds, streams, lots of fishing in Washington County as well. We've got a couple smaller lakes, but really what the jewel of Washington County is the Battenkill River, which is often rated as one of the top trout streams in the world, not just in the United States, but in the world. And I would share with you, I've at least had 4 dinners out of the Battenkill this year alone with my sons fishing. So beautiful brown trout and rainbow trout. There's wild trout, but there's also the DEC, New York State DEC, keeps supplying fish every April. And boy, they're delicious and wonderful, wonderful fishing. Next slide, please. Farm to table is huge in Washington County, as we're one of the largest agricultural counties in the state of New York. 62 counties in New York. Washington County is one of the top, not only in dairy, but in meat, in pig, and so many fruits and vegetables, stone fruit, so apples, apricots. But Hand Melon Farm, which actually is in the town of Greenwich where I live, is wonderful. And actually John Hand and his family have developed a unique cantaloupe that goes really well with the trout that I catch in the Battenkill. It's really sweet. It's wonderful place to go. That's in the southern part of the county, about 20 miles east of Saratoga Springs. So Tricia, this is really easy for you to take the car when you're done in Warren County and come on over to Washington County.
It really is. How convenient.
So there's at washingtoncounty.fun, which is our website for Washington County tourism. There are a plethora of farms that you could stop at for cheeses. Argyle Cheese Farm, which is in Argyle, just opened up a retail outlet in Kingsbury, which is again right across the river from Warren County. And a number of farms that offer tours, offer cheeses, meats, and fruits and vegetables. Next slide, please. And that goes along with our buy local. We also have the Moxie Ridge Farm and Creamery that also does great things like cheese, pork, and also beer from R.S. Taylor. So we have a number of wonderful craft breweries throughout the county, including from Whitehall in the north with the Rail Yard Brewery to R.S. Taylor, which is in Hebron, right in the middle of the county. And then you come on down near the Biddles Farm, and there is Argyle Brewing, which is really good. So many different beers, but buying local is really important. We've had a number of younger folks move into Washington County and take over some of the farms and just do a wonderful job. And again, where 20 years ago, Washington County was almost entirely dairy, we have a plethora of wonderful things to eat. You could stay in Washington County for a week and eat a new meal 3 times a day, a new meal every day, and have something always from Washington County. Next slide, please. We have wonderful golf with our scenery. This is Windy Hill, which is the next, in the Easton, the next town over from Greenwich, and right over the border from Saratoga County and Warren County. We have a number of beautiful golf courses, very inexpensive, very well kept, but this is an 18-hole course called Windy Hills Golf Course. We have a number of others throughout Washington County, so bring your golf clubs. Next slide, please. Beautiful biking along the Battenkill River throughout the rolling hills of Washington County, from the north way up in Putnam, which is right on Lake Champlain, to put things in perspective. It's an amazing county, from Lake Champlain in the north, the Hudson River on the west, all the way down to a little flatter land, but still rolling hills in southern Washington County where I live. Plenty of biking trails, plenty of side roads with no traffic. In fact, the only traffic you'll get this time of year will be a chopper or a combine to bring the crops in. So plenty of safety and plenty of just wonderful neighbors. Next slide, please. If you're not up for camping in an RV or in a yurt, we have an old schoolhouse. So we have Gramps Old Schoolhouse, which is, boy, it seems like I'm boosting around my farm, but this literally is 3 miles from my house. It's a renovated schoolhouse from 1850, and it is beautiful. It's right on Route 22 outside of Greenwich, and right near that beautiful Battenkill River I was talking about that has a beautiful trout in it. The other thing with the Battenkill River is lots of tubing. You can start on the Vermont side, and you tube right down, and you can get out in Shushan. You can get out all along Salem. Many drop points, and then many get out points, but it's wonderful. The water's perfect right now. It's over 85 degrees in the Battenkill River, so it is just perfect. Next slide, please. The other thing that we have in Washington County is, and again, we are food-centric people because of our ag background, just beautiful places to eat. So throughout the county, not only do the breweries supply food, for instance, R.S. Taylor has a wood-fired oven truck right outside their brewery, but we have places like Big G's Pub in Whitehall and so many other great places to eat throughout. And we have Old Standards, the Anvil Inn in Fort Edward, beautiful Fort Edward, which is actually, most people don't know this, but the Army Rangers were founded in Fort Edward on Rogers Island. So Rogers Rangers is what the original Rangers, U.S. Army Rangers were called. And it's a beautiful site right there, again, on the Hudson River. Next and last slide, please. So we're a small community in Washington County. These folks at Tyashoke Farm, that's the Zims. They're neighbors of mine, and I go to church with them. If you see, that's the Zim boys. They have 3 sons, none older than 16. They grow all those pumpkins. So buy beautiful pumpkins and gourds, and also give to the Zim College Fund. That's what the profit from these sales go to. This is in the lower part of the county called Easton. Easton's probably one of our smaller communities, but has some of our larger farms of 600 acres and such. But we still hold our agricultural heritage very high esteem in Washington County. And just like Warren County, I got to tell you, this whole area and the others that speak, the North Country as a whole, just some of the friendliest people on the planet that all want to make sure you have a great time and a safe time when you come and visit us up here in the North Country. So that's what I had today. Tricia, I want to thank you again for AAA. And I want to thank you again to AAA. I've been a member for 35 years, and you all have saved me a ton of money through all my travels throughout my life. So thank you so much.
You're more than welcome, and thank you for being a AAA member. I have to say, Mike, I know my husband has golfed up in your area, and your RV camping has to have seen a huge increase in
Yes, in fact, in Warren and Washington County, the RV parks were actually some of the first chomping at the bit to get open, right? Because of everything going on.
And it's so neat that you can really stay at those little places that you were showing us about if you don't have an RV. And I know that RVs everywhere have been selling out because what the summer we've had, it's been so absolutely beautiful out that, who can help from planning a weekend away? So I appreciate it. And you must love growing up on the farm.
It's beautiful. And I will send you next year, hopefully we'll have a better sugar. We do sugar maple syrup. And then we have chickens. And we also have berries, raspberries, blackberries, and black raspberries. So Joanne, I owe you some of each of those. But I'll make sure you get some beautiful maple syrup, okay?
That sounds great. Thank you very much, Michael. I greatly appreciate it. Next, we have Clement, and Michelle is the Director of Marketing for Regional Office of Sustainable Tourism, Roost. She oversees multi-county destination marketing and management strategy within the Adirondack region, and she also serves on the board of the Adirondack Regional Tourism Council. In her spare time, as you can see, Michelle's outside today. You'd likely find Michelle out making memories with her husband and her 3 children as they hike, boat, ski, and eat their way through the Adirondacks. So I think that's very exciting and what a way to grow up. Go ahead, Michelle.
Yes.
Well,
thank you for having me today. And yes, I am outside today. Today's my designated day, not in the office, trying to reduce numbers in the office. So I've got those kids you just mentioned in the house. So I'm trying to find a quiet spot. So again, thank you for letting me join today. If we want to go to the next slide. All right. So we represent a large portion of the Adirondacks and lots of unique communities and destinations. And I'm going to kind of quickly go through and give some high-level overview of some of the different locations of which you can visit. And one thing we always recommend is that people look and find that kind of hub location where they want to find their accommodations. And then from there, to get out and really explore and experience the Adirondacks. There's so many unique communities that have different charm and character and attractions. Similar to what Joanne had mentioned, we're very lucky as many of our attractions are really built around the outdoors. So we've had the opportunity that they've worked really hard to set up different protocols in order to be open and welcome visitors this summer. So, there's one photo right there that I just love is, just showing that inspiration of, a trip to the Adirondacks really begins when you get off 87 or 81 and you meander through the different communities. usually your vacation's, you hurry up and get there, but your vacation really begins when you hit the road. Next slide, please. So one of the first destinations I'm going to speak to is the Lake Placid, and what we also refer to as the High Peaks region. Lake Placid is probably one of the most well-known communities in the Adirondacks, as being host to the 1932 and 1980 Olympics, but it's much more than just a winter destination. This unique mountain village, definitely shows that blend of the modern amenities and the beautiful main street for different experiences such as shopping, dining, eating, relaxing, taking that stroll on the cobblestone pathway that takes you around Mirror Lake, or some of the popular things to do right within the community. Our slogan for Lake Placid is invent your own perfect day, because there's so many different experiences that you can have in Lake Placid, from that experience downtown that I spoke to, or going right into the backcountry, being right at the foothills of the High Peaks, and the views of Whiteface Mountain in the background. There's a variety of different hiking trails from Lake Placid, and there's a new challenge called the Lake Placid Niner. That's a great introductory, more so for hikers. As we move into the fall season, Route 73 and the northern access to the High Peaks does start to get a little bit busy, and I'll get more into that a little bit farther down. But there are a variety of other unique hiking opportunities, mountain biking, beautiful golf courses, whether it's right there in that picture on Mirror Lake, whether you're supping, that's a motor-free boat lake, or you can head over to the larger namesake Lake Placid for chartered boat rides, etc. New for the 2020 fall season, at the Olympic jumping complex at one of the Olympic sites in Lake Placid, they've installed a new sky ride and sky flyer. So the sky ride is a gondola that will take you up to the top of the ski jumps for a spectacular view. And you can either choose to ride back down in the gondola, or take the more adrenaline junkie way down and take the sky flyer, which is a zip line that will take you from the top of the ski jumps back down to the base lodge. Next slide, please. So right next to Lake Placid, you'll find what we call the Whiteface region, or Wilmington, New York, J and Upper J. In the Whiteface region, this is where you can drive your car right up to the top of a high peak via the Whiteface Memorial Highway. You can visit High Falls Gorge, which is a 22-acre nature park with 4 waterfalls. There's trails and footbridges, as seen in this photo right here, to explore just a very unique natural attraction. Other attractions that are open this year is the Adirondack Wildlife Refuge, which is kind of a wild kingdom. It's about 50 acres, and you can take a 1-mile trip that'll take you to see different wolves and bears, bobcats, owls, etc. All kinds of different unique animals that's at the Wildlife Refuge. And over about the past decade, there's been a volunteer group called Bark Eaters Trail Alliance, also known as BETA, that's really wanted to put the Wilmington area on the map for mountain biking. And the amount of work that they have put into these dedicated mountain biking trails, also in conjunction with Whiteface Mountain and being able to ride mountain bike at Whiteface Mountain, it is now often ranked in the top 20 destinations in the United States for mountain biking. So if you're into mountain biking or fishing, the Whiteface region would be a great place to pick as your hub. Next slide, please. So if you head out of Lake Placid from the other direction, you'll visit the decidedly different community of Saranac Lake, as we like to refer to it. Very unique and vibrant downtown. It was actually recently voted top 10 for small food scenes. Paddling, especially in the fall, as those colors reflect off the water, is definitely a key driver for this area. You have the St. Regis canoe area, you have the Saranac Lakes, and going through the locks there, and then you can paddle right into downtown where you can grab a bite to eat, check out the different art galleries, take a historic walking tour. A very unique community. When they come to hiking, they have what's called the Saranac Lake Sixer Challenge, which is 6 peaks that you can hike. Some people will even look to become an ultra sixer and complete the entire challenge in a day, which is a beautiful way to see the Adirondacks when it comes fall. Next slide, please. So there's what we refer to as the Lake Champlain region, representing communities like Ticonderoga, Westport, Crown Point. This is really just north of Joanne in the Lake George region. You know, beautiful forts such as Fort Ticonderoga are welcoming visitors and have set up the top safety protocols this year. Then there's the Crown Point State Historic Site, which is right at the foot of the Crown Point Bridge, which connects you to Vermont and the Green Mountains. That's the photo that's represented right here. You know, it's definitely that tie between if you like history, if you like agritourism, if you like touring, you know, the Lake Champlain region is a great place to visit. Great breweries such as Ledge Hill Brewery or the AuSable Brewery. You can actually have a farm stay right at Daisy Meadow Farms, for example. You can swing into an apple orchard at the Gunnison Orchard. So there's a variety of different opportunities to experience food, history while you're touring. The roads in the Lake Champlain region are, you know, remarkable for people who love to road cycle. It's a very popular road cycling destination. And of course, you know, the charm of the region is, of course, the large Lake Champlain itself, popular for boating, fishing, particularly bass fishing, sailing, etc. And then this is also home to AuSable Chasm, which is the oldest natural attraction, just interesting fact, in the United States. They're celebrating their 150th year of operation. It's also referred to as the Grand Canyon of the East. Next slide. Then there's Hamilton County, which is really, you know, if you're looking for that small town, big outdoors, Hamilton County is a great destination. Unique communities such as Inlet, Long Lake, Racket Lake, Indian Lake, Speculator. This is, you know, kind of that southern eastern side of the Adirondacks. One thing that's very popular when it comes fall is the Hamilton County Fire Tower Challenge. We hike the 5 different fire towers. There's also plenty of roadside waterfalls, unique attractions, general stores, beautiful destination to experience. You know, interesting fact, in Blue Mountain Lake was actually the first hotel in the world to have electricity in every room. Yeah, there's some definitely cool history there. You know, being the birthplace of the American vacation, when the wealthy people of New York City would escape up to the Racket Lake, Blue Mountain Lake area, and vacate the city in the summer for their great camps. Next slide. There's the Adirondack Hub. There's communities like Newcomb, North Hudson, Minerva, and Schroon Lake, also very close to that Lake George area. Here you can find some of the newest state acquisition of lands to explore. You know, if you're into hiking into the high peaks, the southern access points to the high peaks is one place that we really recommend people going. You can definitely avoid the crowds and get a very unique backcountry experience, or take nice, you know, pond, like a hike into Boreas Pond. A wide variety of camping areas, including the new Frontier Town, are located here. And there's been some new dining opportunities, like the opening of the brand new larger Paradox Brewery in North Hudson. In Newcomb, there's some new restaurants like the Lake Harris House, which also has, you know, glamping sites. There's a nearby campground that's new this year. So there's definitely new developments that are worth checking out in the Adirondack Hub. And the last destination I'm going to chat about real quickly will be Tupper Lake in the next slide. Tupper Lake is home to the Wild Center and Wild Walk, where you can take an elevated walkway through the Adirondack Forest. You can, you know, look at the fall foliage from an eagle's nest, climb it, you know, the kids can climb into the spider's web, there's tree houses, etc. The indoor facilities are not open this year, but they have a 22-acre campus to explore, which includes Wild Walk that is open this year. They also are taking a lot of their indoor experiences, such as their animal encounters, and taking them right outside. So it's a great place to get out, explore the trails, and get close to nature. There's also a brand new paddling challenge that's been established in Tupper Lake this year, where you can paddle 3 different paddles and earn a patch. That's been very popular so far this season, and a great social distancing activity. And there's a variety of breweries, family-friendly dining, et cetera, right within the community. So this was just a high-level overview of some of the unique communities, and you see they all have a little bit different flavor and charm, and creating that road trip of connecting multiple communities within the Adirondacks while you're here is always highly encouraged. We can go to the next slide. So I love that shot. Just need to share it, so I just had to throw that in there. And we'll skip right to the next piece so we can keep on moving. So there's definitely some trips to traveling this year, and really, I'm one person that loves to be spontaneous. I decided to sit outside for this call while it's raining next to me. So, but making a plan is really important. Making sure knowing what you want, where you want to go, what you want to do before you go, and then checking again before you leave. As the state changes those travel advisories, we're keeping those updated. There's a link right there, and I'll also have a final slide for reference. Any of the websites that were just referenced at the top of the website, there is a travel alerts and what to know before you go. Can you go back, please, for a quick second? Make sure to take and look at that before you leave to make sure there's no quarantine requirements. What is happening in each community. We're usually also trying to keep updates on what's happening with some of the major attractions. So definitely, make a plan and then double check those arrangements. We also recommend you check directly with businesses first to make sure there are still some adjusted hours. You need to remember that restaurants are serving at limited capacity. So having a plan for, not just grabbing dinner at the last minute, kind of having a plan, do they take reservations? Anything you can do will make your time in the Adirondacks much more enjoyable this year. And most of our attractions are also requiring advance reservations, and many have gone cash free this year. So, booking any of those major attractions or those key things you want to do, taking care of that in advance, the day before at the minimum, so that that you can, check off those must-see things while you are here. Trailhead parking is another one. In some, many of our very, very popular hikes, trailhead parking is starting to see some overflow. They are also enforcing, the no parking areas, and so making sure you have a plan when it comes to parking. If it's a popular hike you're looking to do, you need to really get up at the crack of dawn and make sure you get to that parking area earlier. But there's really no need to kind of fight for those, those really popular hikes, because the Adirondacks is filled with over 1,500 miles of hiking trails, all to very unique, breathtaking spots and peaks. So definitely start looking for some of those hidden gems. That's where you'll find the space. That's where you won't fight for the parking. And that's something that you would recommend. So there's a lot of different resources there, and on all of our websites that will point you to some, lesser used hikes. And be mindful of others and make sure you follow those safety protocols. And I'll move on to the next slide to talk about this a little bit more. We had a lot of community meetings from, the early in March all the way through, and continue to work with our businesses to make sure, they didn't want to just meet the safety expectations, but they wanted to exceed them. They wanted, it's important that they got their businesses up and operating again and being able to welcome travelers back, but they also wanted to make sure that they did everything they could to, protect the communities, protect their visitors, etc. And one thing we really wanted to take was what we called the politely Adirondack approach. And how could we have fun with it? So we've created these little woodland creatures that help, you'll see them all throughout our different communities, that help kind of direct and, give notice on the different safety protocols. When you're on, there's certain areas like Main Street, Lake Placid, where while you are outside, we want you to wear face masks. So there's different variations of these different signs that will help people stay top of mind on what the expectations are. Yes, we are outside and there's a lot of room to get out and explore, but we also want to be mindful of others, and we want to be kind. So that was the politely Adirondack approach. You'll see when you go to a restaurant and you use the bathroom, there's a little sign with an otter on it that'll tell you the last time the restroom was cleaned and what their protocols are. So these help really inform you as you go through the different communities There's little bears washing their paws that have free complimentary hand sanitizer. So the flightly Adirondack animals, keep an eye out for them if you're in the Adirondacks. They'll help kind of tell you what the protocols are and the expectations. Next slide, please. And this is my final slide. But one thing that we really have been working on, and hiking in the Adirondacks continues to become much more popular, and those numbers continue to increase. And this year, we've definitely seen an increase as people are looking to get outside, and even seeing some first-time outdoor enthusiasts wanting to take to the backcountry. So it's really important that people practice their leave no trace principles, and they're not only prepared for their trip, but they're prepared for that backcountry. So we've created what's called the Love Your 80K Pledge in conjunction with New York State DEC, the Adirondack Mountain Club, and many others. It's just 8 quick little statements that are fun and whimsical, but really have you be mindful of others when you're in the backcountry, mindful in the environment, and help keep both you and our natural resources protected. So we encourage anyone to take that is looking to come to the Adirondacks, or just looking to spend time outdoors and wants to learn a little bit more about Leave No Trace, to visit loveyour80k.org, and also take the pledge while you're there. Next slide. So here's just a quick recap of the different resources that I spoke to today. For travel updates, adirondacksusa.com/travel-updates. Again, any of the websites that were listed, it is a large banner across the top. Make sure you check before you go. We will have fall foliage reports coming out starting in early September. And then, if you are spending some time outdoors, whether it's hiking, paddling, picnicking, etc., to brush up on your Leave No Trace principles and take the pledge.
Thanks, Michelle. My name is Alec. Hi, everyone. I've been behind the scenes for a little bit, but my colleague, Patty, apparently just lost power, unfortunately. So I'm going to step in and host the last couple minutes until she gets back, and hopefully she can get her power restored pretty quickly. So Joanne, Michael, and Michelle, thanks so much for joining. I know if there are any questions that anyone in the audience has, you can put them in the chat. But I guess my question for everyone is, obviously it's been a tough spring. Oh, Patty's back. She's back.
Alec, excuse me. This is Mike Farmer in Old Forge. I lost internet in our building here, but I'm back on by telephone.
All right, Michael, take it away.
Oh, wow, and it's nice. I wish that I was in the same camp as Patty and get that restored so quickly. But we have technicians here today, and I guess one of their favors to me is that I have lost my internet. But thank you anyway for having me, and let me give you a brief teleconference here on an overview of Old Forge. Old Forge is the brand. Old Forge is the southern gateway to the Adirondacks, the southwestern gateway, and we take a very regional approach because we sit at the base of the foot of the Fulton chain of lakes. We've long been known for our paddling lakes, rivers, and now during these times, it's been very, very oddly beneficial for us that our whole economy, our whole tourism industry is based on natural resources and natural resource recreation. And now that takes on special meaning because that's exactly what people are looking for. They want to get away. They want some mental relief from all of this. And they are pursuing the things that we are famous for. And we have been known over the past 10 years as the Adirondack Base Camp. It's Old Forge Adirondack Base Camp because people come here from our drive market, which includes certainly Mohawk Valley is an hour away. The New York State Thruway runs east to west, west to east, however you want to look at it, right through the Mohawk Valley. That extends to central New York, and our 3-hour drive market extends and includes Rochester, the Finger Lakes, Binghamton, and the Southern Tier. And those folks are coming here. They land in Old Forge and use this as our base camp, as their base camp. And from Old Forge, every place in the park is an easy day trip. And we have a lot of people that come here. And thankfully, the Wild Center was able to reopen about a month and a half ago. And we send a lot of folks to the Wild Center in Tupper Lake. We understand that we can be the nucleus. We have several mini personalities for our region right here. But the strength of the Adirondacks, as far as we are concerned, is that we have so many offerings. We don't need to compete with other counties and other regions. We are all part of the Adirondacks, and it gives so many alternatives to folks that they can't possibly do this on a single visit. They must come back and willingly do so once they see everything that we have to offer. And here in Old Forge is the capital of the central Adirondacks and extends from the Adirondack border down by Woodgate and Forestport all the way up through Inlet, Racket Lake, Long Lake, Indian Lake. It's part of our Adirondack community. And within the town of Webb, Old Forge is the largest hamlet in the town of Webb, and it has the biggest tourism infrastructure. We also have our outlying communities all within a 15-mile radius, Eagle Bay, Big Moose, Stillwater, Beaver River. They all lend a little different personality to our town. And we now are enjoying a huge uptick in tourism. And our challenge early on was to let people know that during these times, we are the stewards of everything that they like about the Adirondacks. And we are keeping that ready, and we're taking care of it. When the time is right, then we welcome everyone back here. We saw early on, we were getting a huge influx of people, and our challenge, and really what doubled our efforts for safety, was in doing everything that we could to ensure the public health safety of our visitors and our local residents. Because the best way for us to take care of our frontline staff who are exposed to hundreds and hundreds of people each day is to enforce all of those precautions and emphasize all of the mitigation factors that we have to deal with social distancing. It's not that hard. We've got the Fulton Chain of Lakes. We've got 3 branches of the Moose River. You want to social distance, get out in a boat and get in the middle of the lake or cruise down the river. What the benefit for us is that we have been able to direct and accommodate all of the visitors that are coming in here. We're fortunate to have 5 major campgrounds, including the state campgrounds, but we have 2 private campgrounds here in Old Forge. The Old Forge Camping Resort has over 300 spaces. It has its own lake and its own little store and access to all of the trails, both our trail system throughout the town and state trails. And those sites that they have range from tent sites to RV sites to cabins and cottages. Just south of Old Forge, we have Singing Waters Campground with 180 sites all along the Moose River. So now at these times when people are looking, they want to get away, they want to get out, but they want the camping experience. We've got that in spades. We've got Nick's Lake Campground, Lime Kiln Campground, 8th Lake Campground, Golden Beach, and it's endless. And we have a boat access only Alger Island on Fourth Lake. That whole campsite is a state campsite. So we have what people are looking for. Our main concern is to accommodate everyone while still providing the best safety that we can. So that's gone throughout the community to welcome people. As Michelle said, we let people know what is open, the operating parameters that they're under right now. And in that way, not only do we provide the information, we can divert people if one place is overwhelmed with business. We've got plenty. We've got 17 restaurants here that were named the best or the runner-up for the best restaurant in the Adirondacks by Adirondack Life Readers Poll. So there's no shortage of services. We do have a couple of attractions that have not been able to reopen. Old Forge Lake Cruises has not been able to open. Enchanted Forest Water Safari has not been able to open. But what we have found that the people that came here for those experiences are now very, very happy to see everything else we have. We've got a bustling Main Street, of course, and sometimes a lot of traffic, but Solitude lives 5 minutes from that Main Street in Old Forge. And included in that is Macaulay Mountain. Macaulay Mountain Ski and Recreation Area has the Summer Scenic Chairlift, which is the biggest attraction in the fall here, because from the summit, people can see on a clear day, they see Whiteface Mountain, Mount Marcy, they see the High Peaks region 100 miles away, viewing over the Fulton Chain of Lakes. And we have a new mountain bike complex in development, but it's 2 years in development now. We now have 30 miles of trails for everybody. It's so family friendly. There's everything from single track and double track on grassy cross-country trails to flow trails, downhill flow trails, and climbing trails that now extend as part of that 30 miles of trails that extends from Macaulay Mountain right over Maple Ridge, right into the village of Old Forge. On the other side of Old Forge, we have another 40 miles of trails developed on our snowmobile trails. It's all part of the town trail system, and that trail system for bikers extends all the way to Eagle Bay, 10 miles up Route 28. So what we're dealing with now is providing alternatives for people and renewing experience for people. People come and they expect to see all the shops that we have. All of our retailers are doing really great, mostly with Adirondack handcrafted things and larger things like furniture items and that's made right here in Old Forge. That's great shopping and great retail experience and has really helped our sales tax revenue, but it provides everything for people that want the shopping and dining experience, and then they want to dip in and maybe they want to do a canoe or kayak, a little tour on the river from an hour to 3 hours on the river, paddling with the whole family. Maybe they want to go to Bald Mountain Fire Tower, an easy 1 hour hike up to a fire tower overlooking the Fulton Chain of Lakes. What our people are finding is there are so many things for families to do here. You don't have to be a world-class hiker, a climber to get up to a mountaintop and really enjoy the whole area and your experience here. So that's what we're focusing on right now. It was not a matter of encouraging more people to come. We were actually overwhelmed early when we weren't advertising at all, but the word was out. And that's what we're focused on now, is providing the very safest and best experiences for the biggest number of people from that 3 hour drive market. And I think we're doing it. Hello, did I lose everybody?
Tricia, you're still, Tricia, we
Patty,
can't hear you.
you. Patty, unfortunately, yeah, there's some technical difficulties. But thanks, Mike, for that presentation. And of course, thanks to all the panelists for their presentations. I know I will definitely be looking into all your destinations. I think I might need another lifetime to visit all of them, but you definitely made very compelling cases. So I'm looking forward to getting up there this fall. And with that, I want to thank the audience. I want to thank our panelists, and certainly thank Patty, who did a tremendous job putting this together. Unfortunate the last couple minutes were a little challenging, but we appreciate the partnership of everyone on the call, and we look forward to having more of these webinars and hopefully getting together in person sometime soon and enjoying all the great attractions. So have a good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you
Thank
much.
you.